The Men in Black are a secret law enforcement agency that is responsible for policing the extraterrestrial life hidden on Earth, as well as protecting the world from any aliens who attempt to destroy/invade the planet. The film begins on Lunarmax, a MIB prison situated on the moon. A one-armed criminal, a Boglodyte named Boris the Animal, stages a jailbreak, along the way killing Obadiah Price, a fellow inmate he'd made a deal with. His intention is to rewrite history, with Agent K, the one who arrested and imprisoned him, being a major factor in his plan. On Earth, Agent K and his partner Agent J cover up an arrival of an alien spacecraft and hear of the prison break. At a Chinese restaurant that's a local haunt for aliens, Agent K discovers Boris, who had previously gone to see Obadiah's son Jeffrey, and the two fight, with J joining in. K is upset that the alien he should have killed is out loose again. He deems it his own affair and forbids J to help him, suspending him. A puzzled J checks up on Boris. He appeared in 1969 to prevent the deployment of the ArcNet shield, a device that K deployed to protect the world from harm, but which killed off the Boglodytes, as they can only survive by feeding off worlds. He managed to kill on July 15, 1969 an alien named Roman the Fabulous, and on the following day, at this point O cuts him off and tells him not to investigate any further. That night, as K waits for Boris with a gun in his hand, he suddenly vanishes. The next morning, J discovers that he has a new partner, the liberated Agent AA, and that K has been dead for 40 years, having been killed by Boris the Animal on July 16, 1969. O notices he is suffering from headaches and craves chocolate milk, which she explains are symptoms of time fracture, aka the crime of interfering with history, which Obadiah Price was imprisoned for. At this point a Boglodyte armada appears. J learns that there was nothing to hold them at bay, with no K to deploy the ArcNet. He theorizes that Boris went back in time to 1969 to kill K, thus changing history to what it was, and proposes to follow him. He heads to Jeffrey Price, who had provided Boris a time jump device, and gets another one from him, and activates it by jumping off the Chrysler building just as the Boglodytes begin their assault. J arrives in July 15, 1969, with the intention to catch Boris as he is about to murder Roman the Fabulous. However, he is delayed from navigating the era of 1969, most notably by an altercation with two racist cops, and gets there too late to stop Roman's murder by 1969 Boris. He encounters 1969 Agent K, who subdues him and brings him to MIB headquarters. J tells K nothing, but when threatened with getting his memory erased he tells K part of the truth. He came from the future in pursuit of another time traveler who's trying to change history. K and J follow a trail of clues to Andy Warhol's factory complex, where Warhol is revealed to be MIB Agent W. He notifies them of Griffin, an Arcanian being who has the ability to foresee all timelines and futures. Griffin's planet was destroyed by the Boglodytes, so he came to live on Earth and brought with him a device which will prevent the Boglodytes from consuming the Earth. 1969 Boris arrives at the factory in search of Griffin, who makes a quick exit with Boris in fast pursuit, to Jay's displeasure, although K doesn't seem to get too worried. J and K eventually track down Griffin at Shea Stadium, where he is foreseeing the future victory for the Mets baseball team. 1969 Boris appears and captures Griffin, but J and K are able to rescue Griffin, although Boris gets away. Griffin gives them the ArcNet and explains it can only work in zero gravity. Kay gets the idea to head to Cape Canaveral on July 16, 1969, the day the Apollo 11 ship launched, and attach it to the spacecraft. He is immovable in this plan, so Jay reveals to him his imminent death, to Kay's shock. Griffin explains to Jay that for history to work out fine, Kay must be the one to deploy the ArcNet. Jay asks if there is any chance Kay will survive, and Griffin is affirmative, but somberly notes that at any point of death occurring, it will occur. Meanwhile, present Boris arrives in 1969 and meets his younger self. Kay, Jay, and Griffin arrive at Cape Canaveral, where they are accosted by a colonel guarding the facility. Griffin instructs them to tell the truth to succeed, which they do. The colonel doesn't believe them, but when Griffin shows him the future, he changes his mind and assists Jay and Kay in reaching the shuttle. Griffin takes his leave at this point, advising Jay that when Kay blows Boris's arm off, the timeline will be restored back to normal and he can return home. Jay and Kay confront the two Borises, who were waiting for them at the shuttle launching pad. Kay and 1969 Boris fight, while Jay takes on the current Boris. Jay is mortally wounded by Boris, but manages to knock Boris into the launching shuttle's exhaust blast. He then time jumps to before Boris's attack, managing to repeat himself and avoid Boris's attacks. Meanwhile, Kay blows off 1969 Boris's arm and manages to attach the ArcNet to the shuttle as it launches. In the aftermath of the launch, as Jay is about to time jump home, he witnesses from afar Kay thanking the colonel for his assistance and offering him a job with MIB. Then 1969 Boris appears and kills the colonel, but Kay kills him instantly. 1969 Boris expected to be arrested for the next 40 years and then go back in time, but Jay had previously advised Kay to straightaway execute Boris when he surrenders. Then Kay witnesses a young boy, the colonel's son, arrive looking for his father. Kay sadly neuralizes the boy and takes him for a walk. A shocked Jay realizes that that boy was him, and that Kay has played a vital part in his life. Upon returning to the present, he tells Kay he knows what happened and understands, and Kay says it was a privilege to have Jay as his partner. The film ends with Griffin happily observing that all's well that ended well. Then he sees Kay forgot to leave a tip, and foresees a meteor smashing into the Earth. Then Kay returns and leaves the tip, and with relief Griffin foresees a satellite appear in the meteor's path, halting it and keeping the Earth safe.